to the bone. Watch out, 'cause I'm in my zone.
Good afternoon, welcome into continued coverage of the GJ Gardner Tauihi Aotearoa. It's the Whai and the Tokomanawa Queens here at the Queen Elizabeth Youth Centre in Tauranga. Good afternoon, welcome, and Andrew Dewhurst with you alongside Casey Frank as these two teams go at it, and we are less than 24 hours after the Queens upset the top of the table side, so they'll be rolling, but are they tired?
They're definitely a wee bit tired despite a pretty dominant victory last night that sees the Northern Kahu slip off that undefeated record, and the Tokomanawa Queens take a commanding control of the second spot in the competition with 2 games to play for them.
Yeah, the Whai, though, if they get this one, they go 1 game back from the Queens in the race to the top 4 as we have a look at the action across this round with the Queens playing the Kahu on Thursday night. Friday, the Whai have the first of a double header for them up against the Puakai, and then the Whai play on the Sunday against the Hoiho.
Of course, this is after this week's action as the Women's League, the Tauihi, has taken a week off for the Sal's NBL Finals.
So they have a little breather and then get back into it ahead of the final push towards the top 4. We have a look at the Queens, coached by Tanya Tupu. Who do you like? Who are the key players here, Casey?
Well, always starts and finishes with Florencia Chaga. She is the head of the snake with her defense and playmaking abilities, but Jamie Nard was fantastic against the Kahu last night. Came out and was really dominant as a shot maker. Gustafsson, solid on the boards. Trousdale back as well, giving that defensive intensity.
And we caught up with Tanya Tupu a little earlier.
Well, Tanya, a very good win last night.
Yeah, it was excellent. I mean, that was pretty tough to go against the top team in the league, and we had a shot at it, and the girls played extremely well, and we, you know, rode that wave last night till midnight, so we didn't turn into pumpkins today, and we've turned out for the Spy game, and, you know, we're just looking forward to seeing if we can replicate some of the great things that we did last night.
Giving not only yourselves, but also the Whai hope that they are definitely beatable.
Yeah, I mean, last time we met Whai, we lost, so we really struggled with their defence, and so we've got a bit of a bad taste in our mouth from that experience, and I think the girls are wanting to, you know, change the way that they played the last time against them, so I think they're looking forward to this matchup tonight.
Back-to-back games, so played yesterday and now today. How's the preparation?
Well, it was short, you know, obviously we got in midnight last night and woke up this morning, we're in Whai country and have to do the adjustment. You know, it's going to be like this for playoffs, you know, semi-final, final, back-to-back. It's a good opportunity to see how we adjust to those conditions, I guess, yeah.
Well, best of luck for the game.
Thank you.
So certainly on a bit of a roll after that win, but they've got to maintain that energy. Sometimes you do experience coming down off that high, so they'll have to put that into practice. And as Tanya mentioned, a good little rehearsal for the top 4 going back-to-back. As we have a look at the Whai, key players here, Casey Frank. Gianna Clark returns, of course, from the Com Games.
Great to have her shooting back, but Nikki Green in the middle there, averaging a double-double, the only player in the competition to do it, and I just love Kyra Lambert and her bulldogness as a point guard. Of course, they've got a little bit of help this week with the insertion of Jory Davis into the lineup. Let's see how much she gets to play, having just joined the team as a new import.
Yeah, we'll hear a little bit about that in our interview. Here is their coach, Mel Bennett.
Well, Mel, very big game tonight with the Queens, who won against the top team last night.
Yes, they had a phenomenal game last night, and it just goes to show that although you're at the top and you're unbeaten for 9 games, you know, anything's possible. Congratulations to Tanya and the Queens on their performance last night. All round well executed win.
Bit of a battle of 2 friends in the coaching.
Oh, I think we're all friends in the coaching realm. Actually, with all the teams, we've all got networks through the Basketball New Zealand system. So for Tanya to come back today and to get up, you know, back-to-back games, it's a tough ask on the road. However, we've done it before as well, so we just need to make sure that we have a great start today.
and you got some reinforcements, some new players coming in.
Yes, we've got Jory Davis who joined us midweek, so she's got a couple of training sessions under her belt, so we'll see how she goes off the bench today. And also Tiana Clark is back from the Com Games, so we welcome her back with open arms to add to our all-round team strengths.
We're looking forward to what should be a very good tussle tonight. Best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, certainly a lot of familiarity. These two teams will know each other extremely well. They've split their series so far this season. Look at the head-to-head in terms of the stats. What are the key numbers that you've seen, Casey?
Pretty close. You can see these teams are reasonably even matched. A little bit quicker pace for the Tokomanawa Queens gives them this extra scoring. You see the steals, though, and that's what I think is going to be the determiner. The team that is able to force possession off the opposition today and force those turnovers without committing any of their own is going to come away with the victory this evening.
And a little momentum before they have the little break going into the finals week, of course, for the Sal's NBL. So they'll get a bit of attention before the ladies take their turn a little later. The referees for this one, Hayden Pipe, Sharon Martin.
And Danielle Couge.
Danielle Couge, who... should I go there or should I not? That you were you ticked or were you just called for a foul?
You know, Andrew, there's a reason I have these conversations with you off air.
Off air. Oh, that's right. I forgot we're back on air. We're back on air.
But it was a deserved tech. I was arguing a thing on a Wednesday night, and I get a little gripey sometimes.
That's what I love about you, Casey Frank. You own your stuff. You own your stuff. This is going to be fascinating, and teams that I feel in the Tauihi. The teams that are really starting to fire, we've seen them improve in some cases dramatically through the season, especially with offensive output.
Most definitely. And the offensive output was tremendous for the Queens last night. The efficiency with which they were scoring the basketball was the best they have done this season, but they combined it with fantastically physical defense. Now, can they back up less than 24 hours later and come out against one of the more physical teams in the league from the interior to the perimeter? This is going to be a matchup where their mettle will be tested. And the Whai are looking to bounce back. They were an early season favorite. They've hit some purple patches, but now, as close to full strength as they have been all season long, or quite a while at least, they will be looking to really prove a point on their home court.
Big moment for a young fan with that opportunity to deliver the game ball. Yes, the Whai in their last 5 have lost 3. And in fact, of their last 4, they've lost 3, including a last up defeat on the 31st of July against the Kahu. They went down 64-88. The matchups between these two teams, though, are split. They played on the 25th of July, and the Whai had a 78-70 win. And on the 2nd of July, it was the Queens with an 82-78 victory. So whoever gets this one, of course, gets the split if the two teams are tied at the end of the regular season. We're ready to go. GJ Gardner, Tauihi. Opportunity for the Queens, for the Whai, I should say. And Green it was with the first look in the low post, but not able to finish. Now the Queens will have their first opportunity.
Nikki Green may have gotten away with a wee bit of a travel in there, and looking very strong on that spin move, but couldn't get the finish.
Gustafsson. Defense well set here, and the Queens struggling to get the shot they want. They get in the paint, they draw the foul. That's as good as.
Well, picking up where they left off, aggressive to the rim, not settling for jump shots. Josie Trousdale spent a lot of time at the Resine just last night as we take a look at the brain trust for the Whai, as well as new import Joy Davis. Josie Trousdale unable to hit the first, and limited a little bit yesterday by foul trouble, but her intangibles were fantastic. Her hustle, her rebounding, and it was really the second chance opportunities that was impressive for the Queens. They were shooting a great percentage, but any mistake they made, they were just getting right back.
So Trousdale makes the second from the Resine to get to the scoring action underway. Here is Clark back from her stint in the 3x3 at the Com Games. Wayward pass though, and then the foul just clattering in. There was Tiana Clark, and giving up possession and the foul.
The Queens will be used to the physicality. 6 players fouled out of the game just last night in their matchup. Jamie Nard was one of them who went to the floor there. Tiana Clark not on point with the pass there. Going to take a little bit of time for her to get the feel back with her teammates returning from the COM games.
Yeah, 3x3, very different proposition to the traditional basketball that Tiana Clark is used to playing both, of course. Trousdale can't finish through the contact, no whistle. Here's Clark now.
Great defense by Robati there, standing still, taking the contact.
Clark this time does find teammates. Some shot clock pressure here. And Green from the Resine is good.
She loves that mid-range shot. So talented with the jump shot. That soft touch, despite being one of the more formidable players in the Tauihi Basketball Aotearoa League.
Gustafsson with the handoff opportunity now for Chagas. We haven't seen her with the basketball too many times in the opening 60 seconds or so, but there's a good indication as to what she can do, the Argentinian.
She is playing great basketball right now, and she has such a good feel of when to go for the shot, when to set up her teammates, but tremendous on this end as well.
Averaging 16.6 points per game is Chagas. Here's Clark. A lovely piece of work, individual brilliance there into the paint with the finish.
What a burst of speed off the crossover, exploding to the rim for the left-handed finish.
Trousdale. Nards of Westview High School in Oregon. And it's a great defense being played there by Flavel, but is there an offensive foul here? What's the ref called?
It's on Flavel, I believe. Oh, you're correct. It is the offensive foul. How about that?
Well, Flavel had good position there, Casey. And
I don't think anybody knew. I thought Flavel was arguing the call. Hence why they're all standing there. Hence the confusion out there on the court.
So Flavel playing some good defense, and Clark now with the ball handling duties. Lambert's from long range, can't make it. A scramble for the rebound though. Good work. Rabati, she'll be strong in that aspect of the game all day. Gets into the paint now through 2 players, can't finish, too much off the glass.
I really do like Rabati's post game, but the double team came nicely there. Great read by Stella Beck.
And she looks to go coast to coast, and that one just rolls away. It threatened to drop, but didn't.
And the only question I have for the Queens is they put in so much into that victory last night. How much can they give early here and still hope to have a little bit in the tank late?
Green and Lambert, the 2 Americans from the corner. Tiana Clark. Well, anyone that's followed the GJ Gardner Tauihi will know that Clark can make a 3-ball.
Or 11.
Yeah. And nice put back there, easy rebound on the weak side, and the basket is good.
Gustafsson running the court, doesn't give up on the play. Jamie Nard trying to force the action through multiple defenders, isn't rewarded, but because her teammate did not let her down, they still get the bucket.
So not high scoring to start this one, and that 3-ball no good. So rebound Gustafsson, she has 8.7 rebounds on average per game, so she's busy at both ends of the floor. So certainly developing early into a bit of an arm wrestle as Gustafsson on the trail gets into the paint. Good finish.
And Stella Beck is showing excellent patience here in the first quarter, using the up fake surrounded by defenders. But once again, Gustafsson cutting without the basketball, not giving up on her teammates, being rewarded for it.
Rabati backs in, had good position. If she catches that deep, she'll be tough to stop.
And look at the footwork after the catch too, just displacing Trousdale with that little bounce into her and then dropping to the left hand finish. Really nice work.
The Queens, both teams just settling into their offensive sets now and starting to look quite comfortable. There's a good example of it. She'll expect to make that with Gustafsson. Everything about that play was great apart from the finish. Happy with the look that they generated. Clark. Again, looking to play a little one-on-one. A little fortunate that time, but fortune favours the brave.
Always better to be lucky than good as we get the quick replay. Look at that, the knocked loose, but then quickness. Witness the quickness once again as we missed the foul done on the other end. To see the brilliance of Tiana Clark yet again.
Foul called on Flavel just as we return to the live action. And few changes for the Whai heading to their bench. Mel Bennett, as always, resplendent. And I tell you what, any fashion retailers anywhere near the Whai, just stock some pink clothing, some pink accessories, and Mel Bennett will be in to see you quick as a flash.
And here we have the insertion of Jory Davis for the first time this season. Have a look at the Whai with a third import for the first time in a while. Dominic McBride, of course, has been down with injury for multiple weeks now. So without her, it has been difficult for them to reach their true potential. Jory Davis in, as is Kendall Hermaya.
And what do we know about Davis? She's pretty well traveled for her relatively tender years.
And traveled well before high school even. Had played basketball in high school overseas in the UK, as well as New York before going to Indiana University, and has plied her trade in 6 countries since then.
Rabati, that one stripped away and done so effectively. One pass and looking to finish. Beck, no foul called, so it was good defense by the Whai, able to get back and disrupt that fast break. And Lambert now will look to just settle things down. And he gets to the elbow, comes up short, rebound Beck.
The Tokomanawa Queens need to keep their foot on the accelerator. Their transition game was fantastic last night and created lots of easy opportunities.
Looking to get the shot up was Nard, but it wasn't the prettiest and wasn't effective either. As we see Davis here. Just a couple of training sessions, so it may take a little while for her to get into the rotation comfortably anyway. That one's just out over the baseline, so this will be 5 possession.
A great double by Jamie Nard there. Excellent instincts to come over. Nearly forced the turnover before knocking out of bounds, and just could not keep her foot off the baseline or any ball thereof. So the Whai will get the baseline out of bounds, where they've had great success this season.
Whai with Hedemeier, Rabati, McGoldrick, Lambert and Davis on the floor. There's Rabati with the high catch. And the Queens are pretty well organised. They get a hand in the passing lane as well. And on the run is Nard to the basket. Nice little hesitation to clear some space. Wanted a whistle. She's not happy, is she, Casey?
She's really angry about the officials right now. And that's a warning on the delay of game there. She's got to be a bit careful. Early in this one, some of the whistles aren't going her way, but I don't think she's going to get the officials onside. I've read this book before.
Is there a chapter named after you?
Oh, God, I hope not.
It might be in your honour, Casey. It might be in your honour. The Whai, long-range attempt. Oh, it was in and out. It was a good look. Green with the rebound, kicks it out again. Davis. Oh, welcome to the GJ Gardner Tauihi, Jory Davis.
Jory Davis showing the range and dropping that one in. Fantastic to add another shooter to things, as the score is 11-11, despite not seeing anything on the side for the Whai.
We'll keep you posted, folks. A little glitch on our scoreboard, but Casey Frank has described it 100% accurate. We're all tied up, and still tied up as the Queens miss that 3-ball. And Lambert comes away for the Whai. Kyra Lambert averaging 15.7 points, 8.4 rebounds. And Davis, she looks like she's hooked here, though. She's going to be called for the offensive foul. And Joy, welcome to a new international league. As an import, you've got to have 2 or 3 referee calls that make you go, what?
It is a tradition here in New Zealand for imports to earn their stripes. They are not going to give you the benefit of the doubt right off, but that certainly looked like a bit of a hooky from the angle that we have here. Just a bit too aggressive on that one. Didn't really need to do it. Could have probably gotten by without being that aggressive with the off arm.
Already, though, Jory Davis has made an impression, Casey. Looks to be aggressive every time she's had possession of the basketball.
Import basketball, you're over here for a couple of reasons. Normally, one of those is to score. You get those opportunities, you have to be aggressive with them.
Grace Hunter out there for the Queens, wearing number 4. Almost turned over. Beckley with the 3 ball. That's good. Plenty of time for Beckley. It was a scramble to keep it in, but she made the most of it.
Picking up where she left off. She played fantastically last night and was crucial in that victory and showing the stretch from deep still. And Joy Davis unable to get that one in the corner. We promised she was the one who caught it, then released it from there.
And it is 14-11. The Phi are on the board here, folks. So 14-11 as Davis comes down with the board. She might want to go coast to coast here as Green has cleared the way for her. Beck went down in an off-ball screen.
I did not think physicality would be lacking today, and it certainly is not, as Joy Davis herself now thinking maybe I could have gotten a whistle there, but does not get the benefit of the doubt.
1:43 left to play here in the first in Tauranga, and it is close as we expected. And Lambert is found on the baseline play by Clark. Well run play and a great finish. We're all tied up again.
A solid screen there being attempted by Joy Davis on her own defender as Kaya Lambert lost her own back-to-back threes for the Phi, have them tied up.
Hunter, Gustafsson up high. Then they go into the paint, and gosh, Tiana Clark looked like she was straight up and down there. She was It's great to have so much talent coming back from offshore. That's been the attraction. We've spoken about it all season with the GJ Gardner Tauihi. It's a new place to call home for some of our best who have had to ply their trade overseas.
And one of the things I have found interesting is the camaraderie of the semi-professional era of basketball in New Zealand has drifted over into the professional era. And these women are so used to just doing it for the love that love is carried over with the paychecks.
Lambert got the 3 ball up and then turned and looked at the referee and now has a conversation. Felt that her landing area was taken away from her. No whistle though.
I think both teams could probably take a page out of a book I always struggle to read, and that would be to spend a little bit less time on the officiating, a little bit more time on the play. The game's going to be called the way the game's going to be called. Have your piece, but move on to the next one and start executing just a wee bit better.
Do retain possession here. We've got 60 seconds to play in the first quarter. Davis looking for the assist to Green. Turned over, but look at the speed of Lambert.
And just excellent instincts. Great D by the Queens, but in return, the speed of Lambert just takes away that possession.
Davis again. They look to have got a real live wire, the fight. Green going baseline. Great defense, Gustafsson, but just reached in there at the last moment.
Yeah, well, remember that thing I said about take a page out and not complaining? I might be complaining on that one. Fantastic defense by Gustafsson.
A lie, but certainly not now. And Gustafsson, her value, 12.7 points, 8.7 rebounds, 2 assists per game. She is hugely valuable for this Queens lineup.
Big screen by Nikki Green.
Davis with the nice footwork as well, and the finish.
And that screen by Nikki Green is what opened up the room for Joy Davis. Her defender, a little bewildered, was Jamie Nard, and because of that, a driving lane opened.
Could well be the last possession of the quarter here. We're all tied up at 16 apiece. They kick it out. 3-ball on the way. It rims out, does not go. Second chance opportunity, and that one also just missing from Chagas. And we're all tied up at the end of the first here in Tauranga.
What we're going to do is we're going to stand confused right here. And then I'm going to say the first one to score a basket, you're going to run to that basket, you're going to run to that basket and score one basket, is going to get a prize, okay? You guys good? What's your name? Tyler, hello, what's your name? Josiah, what up? Everyone say hello to Tyler and Josiah. What up? Okay, you guys ready? Just run to the basket, score basket, okay? On your marks. Get ready, get set. Buckets, they both play basketball. And basket over here by Josiah. And this is one.
Welcome back. The quarter-time entertainment is just concluding as the players are ready to get back out and into this. And as the numbers suggested, as their previous record, remember they've split their 2 games so far this season. And as their lineups suggested, this is very even. Already, though, are the Whai a little different with Jory Davis, Casey Frank?
Yeah, it changes their look quite a bit. You know, Don McBride was more of a forward out on the wing. She had the ability to shoot and put it on the floor, but certainly more of a forward. And we can see Jory Davis, she's a 2-guard. She's got some strength at that position, though, and already shown off the skill with the perimeter jumper and an ability to get to the hole. Gonna have to adjust for her on a few scouting reports, I think.
And certainly no indication that she was going to be limited in minutes, other than she's only had a couple of training sessions. But I reckon her impact on the game already off the bench, I think she's going to be up there around that 30-minute mark on debut. But let's see, rebound for Green. And friendly fire there. Lambert almost with the poke in the eye for Kendall Idemia. As Davis is on the curl. Lambert for Green will kick this out, and Davis found position in the corner, and then maybe just one pass too many.
And just a little bit quick with it as well. Got to understand your teammates first and know who's got the quick hands, those short hands, and where you want to drop that ball. But mostly that one was just on a frozen rope straight out of bounds.
Chagas, her influence has not been perhaps as big as we might have expected so far.
I do have some concerns for the Tokomanawa Queens about how they're going to go with fatigue as it goes through the game. She played such a big part in things last night. It'll be tough to back up.
Finds herself with the basketball again. She is pretty heavily strapped on that right calf. But I'm sure they wouldn't be risking her at this stage of the season. Might just be precautionary, although, as I say that, Casey, I'm not sure she's walking that freely.
Yeah, not walking super freely, but you know, this is being a pro. Florencia Chagas is one of the younger WNBA players drafted in recent years. She'd be well aware of the prices you have to pay to be out there on the hardwood.
21-year-old Argentinian. Beckley. And turned over, so both teams struggling at the start of the second quarter. Lambert now for the Whai. Davis gets to the corner. She looks like she's pretty keen and certainly able to make that 3-ball. Already having made the one shot so far. Rabati out to the elbow for Green. And a little bit too much on that one. They'll get another 14 seconds on the clock. Stripped away, though, by Chagas.
Chagas has been fantastic defensively. Really quick hands as she picks up the steal there, her second of the ball game.
Hunter rejected by Green.
Green, Shane. No, giving her the finger wag might as well with that kind of deflection.
Oh, and then she drops the elbow right into the midriff, and she has one going back against her this time. So aggression is rewarded at one end of the floor and not so much at the other.
Perfect defensive effort there by Grace Hunter, putting her body on the line. She sees the catch here by Nikki Green. She just steps right up into it, takes it well right on the chest, straight to the ground. Easy call to make.
Easy call to make, but a brave play to make. Maybe a bruise or two there. So still no addition to that scoreboard here in the second quarter. And we've had over 2 minutes of action. Can we make a change with the three ball? No, we can't. Turned over now, Clark.
Does not have numbers, will want to pull it back. Finding to execute a little bit better here. It's been a little bit sloppy here in the early goings of the second quarter.
Here's that off, last touched by McGoldrick. So another turnover. This is messy.
A tough angle for the entry pass from the top of the key with that defender on the high side. If you're gonna go down the lane, it probably has to be a lob, but McGoldrick just wasn't set up for that catch from that angle.
Hunter for Chagas. Kicks it out for Beck. And into the paint, and the bucket is good from Nard.
Good flash right into the middle, well delivered. And her stroke is still picking up where she left off last night. 28 points against the Kahu.
Oh, and that pass really was telegraphed and straight onto the hand of Jamie Nard. And not tempted to intervene was Flavel. So a couple of quick buckets here for the Queens, and Mel Bennett says, I want to have a chat.
Yeah, good defense, but worse passing than good defense, I think. They're just not looking the defenders off, and you start putting in a ball fake a little bit here and set some more solid screens. Defenders are able to jump these angles with relative ease, and they're just not doing enough on that weak side away from the basketball to make these catches easy to get.
And on that occasion, I think it was Lambert, wasn't it, with the pass that was cut off. But even as it was leaving her hand, I think she realised, I think she knew it was almost just, she was in automation type mode. But the defender, Nard, was right there in the passing lane.
Well, I think part of that was she expected a bit of a better screen to be set and to take that defender out of the play. And when she slipped it and was able to shoot right through for the steal, the best laid plans were suddenly in tatters. Moving forward here, the Five needs to start executing with a better level of execution, more determinedness about getting the ball where they want to. But I'd like to see them pick up the pace as well, start really pushing things in transition. You are playing a team that just played, whose starters played the majority of the game in a physical game despite being a reasonably large margin of victory. Take advantage of that. Start really putting them up and down the court, reverse that ball side to side, make these defenders work, and see if you can't get them just on the fatigue side and get a little advantage there.
Turnovers really hurting the fight. They're in double figures already. And in that sense, a little lucky perhaps to be only 4 down. McGoldrick for Clark gets it back. They turn down a couple of looks at 3, drive the lane, too much off the glass, but they will get a trip to the Rosine here.
And Jamie Nard might be involved in that one once again. If so, it would be her second personal foul. It looks like that's the way, just based on the reactions that we're getting out of her. Didn't see what official Danielle Kuj, who she called that one on, but Nikki Green to the line regardless. Down 4, need a couple of free throws here from the Rosine.
Green going at 11.8 points and rebounds per game. Bit of a Penn State legend, Nikki Green, 31-year-old. Talking of legendary, how about those earrings?
Those are solid.
Absolutely rocking the earrings today. Here's Mel Bennett, a
Deep.
3-ball, and again, Jamie Nard in conversation with the officials, and that's been a pattern through the first 1.5 quarters of this one.
And that is a conversation that never really goes the way you expect.
Tends to be one-sided. Clark. They know of the threat of Clark from deep. Green gets to the elbow, but under pressure. Not really the look they wanted, but they're scrambling with the rebound, and they need to scramble. And they draw level at 20.
And Green had to get it up. The shot clock was extremely low. Does well to recognize that. But Flavel with the excellent activity on the glass is what gets the bucket.
And Green got a hand in there, but not to any good effect. Jamie Nard does make the triple this time.
Plenty of time out there. Just way too much time, really, for a shooter of her caliber. And her coach, Tanya Tupu, putting trust in her, leaving her on the court with 2 fouls. She rewards it with hitting that 3, up to 11 now for her.
Lambert goes exploring, and again, tough task down at the knees for McGoldrick.
Well delivered, but you get your hands on it, you should be able to pick it up.
Nard goes bang, bang, and suddenly that lead is out to 5.
13 points for Jamie Nard. Look at the class, running it down, and then just showing the shooting touch once again. Deadly from the mid-range the last couple of days.
Absolutely in rhythm. Clark. Screen set by McGoldrick. Clark gets to the Rosine, but really hadn't created the space, had she, Casey, for the shot?
It didn't seem like she quite realized that Florencia Chagas was still on her hip there as he shot it up. Almost looked like she expected some contact or was fearful of the shot being easily blocked, so went with that little double pump. And it did not turn out quite as hoped.
Important minutes here for the Phi. The Queens have jumped away a couple of times to a lead of 4 or 5 points. They lead by 5 now with possession, and this would be a little bit of a dagger had it dropped. They get the rebound. The Phi want to make this contest a close one for as long as they can, given the possible fatigue for the Queens. And Nard is showing no signs of that. Happy to go and draw the contact and get into the paint.
Showing her class. She's got the ability on the jump shot, but also the talent to put the ball on the floor, attacking the rim, forcing defenders to make decisions about what they want to give up. And right now, Jamie Nard's making them guess wrong each and every time as she heads to the Rosine for some more attempts from there. 2 for 2 in the game so far. Jamie Nard 5 for 10 from the field, 13 points. Yet to pick a rebound or an assist just yet, but 3 steals. That's not bad.
And the Queens are 5 of 6 from the Rosine, make that 6 of 7. So their efficiency is good when they're offered what are described as 3 points, but you got to make them.
Well, just like in life, there is nothing free. You have to earn it each and every step of the way. They may look easy out there, but there's thousands of shots that go into that off the court or away from the bright lights that make it look like it's easy.
Lambert. And there's an indication that they haven't had a lot of time together, because Lambert and Davis just a little bit of friendly fire, but they come away with it. Lambert from the corner is good. What an important bucket.
She spaced out so well there, and the recognition that she dragged to the corner was what gave her that opportunity, and she nailed it with the time she had.
Really important. They still trail by 4. Gustafsson, Chagas curling into the paint, then kicks it out for Beck. Great offense. Nard, if she makes this. Well, she didn't, but it was still a great set. Oh, and then an offensive call here on Davis.
That's a bit surprising. Didn't look like Stella Beck was extremely well set there. It was a bit of a loose ball as well. Joy Davis, welcome to the league.
Yeah, second one that has left her a little perplexed. So she too, a real danger as we have 3:45 left to play in the second, but a couple of fouls on Davis on her debut performance for the Phi.
Trust being shown in her, leaving her out on the court, and I think they need to. They need to make a bit of a push here. Can't let the Queens get a bigger lead.
Beckley, no good. And they scrambled the rebound.
Stella Beck has been just phenomenal with the 1%ers so far in this one. Being in the right place, right time, the hustle play, gaining possession, getting possessions back on taking the charge. Just a great first half for her.
Nard gets into that range of hers with the turnaround jumper, no good. Another whistle, and this will send Beckley to the Rosine.
Destructive possession there for the Phi. Just unable to corral the rebound and get it down the other way. Both because of the activity of the Queens on the glass and also just because of a bit of carelessness in their decision making, going without the ball beforehand, passing things out before they really need to. But number one, first and foremost, need to box out this Tokomanawa Queens side. 14 rebounds total, 6 of them offensive.
And you mentioned Stella Beck, and she's just one of those players that plays bigger than she is physically. She goes at better than 6 boards a game, and they're just so valuable. She just has that ability, Casey, doesn't she, just to hunt out that basketball.
Well, she's certainly one of the glue players for the Tokomanawa Queens. You've got the stars and Chagas and Nard and Gustafsson, but Stella Beck has been invaluable in their victories. As I said, just doing the little things that lead to those wins.
Green getting the countdown. Shot clock was into single figures, but I was about to say no need to panic, but panic they do.
There's been a few times on these entry passes where there's just been too much weights and not enough touch work. You gotta put a little bit of air on this basketball when you throw it into the post. You can't just fire those lasers.
Nard. So that lead at 6 would threaten to be the biggest lead of the game if a bucket was made there. To extend it out to 8, Lambert, and they need to rely on their Americans, their stars, if you like, at this stage of the game. Rabadi, she's been in there for too long, though, did not have a ticket beyond that length of time.
Turnover number 14.
Wow.
For the Phi here in the first half. Turnover number 14 already. And that is just a ridiculous amount to still be in a ball game.
It's the work at this end of the floor that's keeping them in the contest, but they've got to improve their offensive output. Beck, it's just inside the free throw line. Green with the rebound.
The Phi need to control these last 2 minutes and get themselves back in this ball game, and that is not the way to do it. Unforced error after unforced error being committed. They just need to slow down a bit, hold possession, because right now that is the only thing that's defeating them. It's not the defense of the Queens, it's their own miscues.
Inside 2 minutes to play in the second quarter. These two teams very close on the GJ Gardner Tauihi ladder. It could be as close as one game, but not if Stella Beck and her Queens side continue that sort of shooting. That extends the lead out to 9, and that means that Mel Bennett wants a word. This is dangerous now.
Yeah, this is not where you want to be, but there's 1:40 left here in the half. A couple of buckets, a couple of stops, and you're by no means out of touch, down 9 points. But the way this Queen side is able to defend, the way they're forcing turnovers, the way they're finding enough efficiency offensively, a 10-point lead can feel reasonably insurmountable in a short amount of time.
That's first points for Stella Beck with that triple. Gustafsson has 4. Jamie Nard is the focal point of their offense. She's by some distance the game leader, 15 points. Beckley with 7 off the bench. So she's been a good contributor. Whilst for the Phi, it's fairly evenly spread. Jory Davis off the bench has been energetic with 5. Kyra Lambert has 6, but just turning the ball over far too many times and giving the Queens so many looks at the basket that consequently they're down by 9.
They are down by 9, and just taking a look through the stats, Stella Beck plus 12 in this one, despite only hitting that last 3, just the 3 points in the ball game, but doing the little things. Jamie Nard leading the way in steals with 3. Nobody really doing an amazing job on the glass. Gustafsson, of course, in there with 6. But overall, they're being out-rebounded by 7. But it's the forcing of the turnovers that has kept them in. 15 turnovers up to this point for the Whai. Just 4 for the Tokomanawa Queens. And that plus 11 differential is easily the biggest difference in the ballgame.
And it's often one of the real focal points of coaches is look after the basketball. Treasure it, protect it. Rabati backs in, and that's where she's so powerful.
Just great footwork, and the way she's able to avoid the second defender coming in. Look at her slip through Gustafsson there. Looks like the body's going to be there, but she's able to make herself smaller than needed to find the space to squeeze through.
And Lambert's got busy, so they've responded to the timeout here superbly. Lambert, contact, nothing called. And what's the whistle on the rebound? This will go the way of the Whai.
I believe that's Florencia Chagas underneath. A bit too much contact on Davis as she was going for the offensive rebound. And is this exactly the burst that the Whai needed coming out of the timeout? They get the first bucket, they get the stop. Now, if they can string buckets together, all of a sudden things feel better. And Stella Beck, I just mentioned she was plus 12, but this does not look good whatsoever. She is unable to put any weight on there, having to be supported by Tokomanawa Queens physio Gavin Cross.
Yeah, that's not a good sign at all. I didn't pick it up in the live action, Casey, but it was perhaps just in that scramble for the rebound, and the concern always for basketballers is landing, isn't it? Now, whether she's twisted an ankle or a knee on landing and caused some damage.
It's a concern for basketball players and pilots alike. It's all about that landing.
Never say that to a pilot, though. They will be offended very quickly.
I'll tell you what, it better be their concern.
Oh, I've had it on good authority that if passengers on a plane clap after a difficult landing, the pilot is offended, going, "What are you on about? That's my job. That's what I'm here for." But yeah, let's hope Stella Beck's okay. Did not look good.
Oh, great bucket there by Kendall Hedemaya. Right inside, showing the touch. The Whai been dominant inside with the catches when they don't give away possession.
Beckley kicks it out. Shot clock counting down here against Nard, but she just with a little crossover made room for the shot, and this one is going to stay with the Queens.
Thought that might have been off Stella Beckley, but no argument from the Whai. Another great crash by the Tokomanawa Queens, and the Whai unable to hold possession. This would have been a huge stop for them, a chance to cut it to 2 or 3. Instead, final possession would be delayed by about 8 seconds.
Nard kicks it out. Opportunity for the 3. This will hurt. Oh boy, that hurts. The bucket from Chagas.
What a delivery by Nard, but the Whai still have a chance to come back.
As we see the replay, but unfortunately we don't see the live action at the other end of the floor, and we do come to the end of the quarter. And I just got to tell you, someone made a bucket there. It is a 6-point deficit at halftime for the Whai. Tokomanawa Queens in control, but by no means completely. This one's still very much in the balance as we go to the halftime break here in Tauranga. It is the Queens leading 35-29.
Is everyone all right out there? Is everyone all right out there? Nod your head very slowly. I am good. I am enjoying myself. I love basketball. I love basketball. I love basketball too. Everyone on that side, do you love basketball? Yes, I love basketball. I love basketball. Okay, guys. We have a halftime game. It's called Beat the Pro. And what happened was we had a pro that recorded a sit challenge. And then the fans responded if they could do it. So what we're going to do is, on each side, we have buckets shooters. And what they have to do is, they have to see if they can make Stefano, they had to each shoot from this spot, and then this spot right there, and then this spot, and then this spot, and see how many baskets you get out of 4, okay? See how many baskets you make out of 4. Do you guys know where your spots are? Okay, great, great. Okay, Fano, we're gonna start very soon, actually, right now. Okay, we're gonna start from that spot. Each player is gonna shoot from that spot and see how many you get out of 4, okay? Cool. Is everyone ready? You guys ready on your spots? See how many shots you make out of 4 shots, 1 per spot, 1 shot per spot. Is that right? Cool, you good? Okay, on the count of 3, everybody, let's go. You only get 1 shot per spot, 1 shot per spot. Let's go. I like it. Nice follow through, nice follow through. Count how many shots you got. 2. Ooh, I like it, I like it. 2 on this side. I'm gonna watch you shoot again. Oh, that's 2, that's 2. Not bad. Is everyone feeling all right out there? It's nice to see our youngins shoot buckets. Everyone's probably different. I like to see people get buckets every day. How are we doing on this side? Are we hitting buckets over this side? We're hitting buckets. Okay. So, on this side, let's see how many. You only get 1 shot. I like it, I like it, I like it. Okay, not bad, not bad. And basically, this is the pro challenge. So, okay, hold up, the wall headshots. That guy's going a little bit crazy.
Welcome back to Tauranga as the Whai somehow are still in contact with the Tokomanawa Queens in this GJ Gardner Tauihi Aotearoa basketball game. I say somehow because we're going to see very shortly in the stats that they just keep gifting the basketball back to the Queens, and yet they only trail by 6 as we have a look at some of these stats. And Jamie Nard, Casey Frank is leading the charge for the Queens.
She is leading the charge. Good support by Chagas. Beckley as well. Of course, Stella Beck may not be back for a while. Jory Davis hit that last shot that we didn't see on screen, so it got to 7. Here we see the rebounds, and this is how the Fire keep it in it. Out-rebounding the Tokomanawa Queens right now, 24-16. That 8 rebound advantage is just about offsetting their numerous turnovers led by Nikki Green, who is, of course, the only player in the league averaging a double-double. There you see the unselfishness. Stella Beck, there is where one of the areas that her impact was really being felt.
The tale of the turnovers, though, Casey, I mean, you can hardly expect, as we see 1 block apiece, but you can hardly expect, you don't have a right to be in a basketball game when you have 15 turnovers and a half, do you?
Absolutely, that is correct. You turn the ball over that much, especially when it's a 10 turnover differential between yourself and the opposition, as we see some of those turnovers being forced by Jamie Nard and Gustavsson with the steals. If they can clean that up, they're just down 6 points. A couple of shots here and there, they'll be right back into it. But they have to clean up that possession of the game to give themselves a chance here on their home court.
So we might talk about that responsibility and how they make that adjustment and treasure the basketball when we come back. Stay with us, folks, as we build up towards the second half here. The Whai, 6 points down, up against the Queens.
Cool. So, you gotta do a dance move. Everyone's got a dance move. Are you under 10? You look like you're 16. But you did a dance move, I appreciate you. Thank you. You guys are lovely to you, my friend. Okay. Anybody on this side, you're gonna do a dance move. You're gonna be on the 10. Okay, dance moves. Everyone's 45 over here. That's all good. We're just gonna move to the next session. Just jokes. Okay. I like it. Okay, yep. That's not one of those. That's a good dance move. That's a good dance move. That's a good dance move. Your dance move. This guy is -40. Okay, who's the last move? There you go. Okay, Fern. Are we all right out there? Is everyone on this side all right out there? Let's see if this side can be louder than that side. Everybody say 5. This side, everybody say 5. Now let's see if by heaps and then. So let's say on the side, everybody say 5. They're giving you a good dribble this time. Everybody say 5. There was some screams and some, it wasn't really a word. Let's try it again. Everybody say 5, 5. Okay, this side, everybody say 5, 5. Not bad, not bad. Okay, hold on. I've got some more lollies. I like lollies. You like lollies? Aisha, have you got a faster beat? A faster beat. Hey, everyone, on the 1s and 2s, laying down these fat beats is DJ Aisha. Make some noise for DJ Aisha. Okay, you have to be under 10. Under 10. And I want to see some bounce moves. I want to see a big bounce moves. Big bounce moves. Big bounce moves. Get my head really big bounce moves. Good moves, good moves. Under 10, under 10. That's it. That's my bad. Okay, under 10, under 10. Oh. Look at his footwork, look at his footwork. Yeah, shot, baby.
Well, welcome back to Tauranga, and it's a case here of can the Whai restrict those turnovers and make a big change, a big adjustment if they are to get back into this and close down that 6-point deficit. Incredible it is, only 6 points. Andrew Dewhurst with you as we bring you this coverage of the GJ Gardner Tauihi alongside Casey Frank. And Casey, I can imagine that was addressed at halftime, but how do teams address it? Is it as simple as just saying, do not give the ball away? Is it something tactical? What do they do?
Well, first and foremost, there's not a lot coach can do when their team is just giving it away. You can put your team in better possessions to do things, but I think it has to do with a couple of things. First and foremost, be less deliberate with your passing. Start implementing some ball fakes. Look away from exactly where you want to go. Certainly set some better, harder screens to discourage these defenders for the Tokomanawa Queens getting up and in and shooting those gaps. But thirdly, it's be aggressive. Don't be on your back foot. If you're on your back foot making turnovers, those leads to layup the other way. But aggressive turnovers, aggressive play, quite often can be rewarded with a foul, or it can be more difficult to get the turnover there. So those would be 3 of the things just off the top of my head that I would be trying to instill in my team.
Yeah, the other aspect to the box score that's interesting is that the Whai have only been to the regime twice. And literally, I mean, 2 shots, so once in that sense, whereas the Queens are 9 of 10 from the free throw line. So it's another key point of difference, isn't it?
And it's not because the Whai aren't trying to post up and get in there. They just haven't had the calls. The Tokomanawa Queens have been doing a better job of defending with their bodies and not with their arms. And they have to try and reverse that trend here in the second half. But the Whai, down just the 6 points, are by no means have an insurmountable lead to overcome.
Yeah, I mean, we can all do the math. It's 2 possessions. Bang, bang, they're right back in it. But I tell you what, folks, if you've been enjoying the GJ Gardner Tauihi through the season, why not make a trip of it and head to the finals? Not a bad spot to go to, Nelson, huh? For the finals, for the top 4. Tickets will go on sale on Thursday. So keep an eye on the Tauihi socials. And if you need to, check the website, tauihi.basketbol, for all of the information that will come out this week. Tickets go on sale on Thursday. It's a basketball town, Nelson, and I know they'll do a great job of hosting the Final Four, so get your tickets and get along.
Yeah, it's going to be a really interesting close to the season when that does come through. A bit of water to go under the bridge until that point, but certainly keep an eye out on that. Get your tickets booked in early, get your accommodation. The good spots go quick down in Nelson.
Yeah, and the Fitchets don't have a lot of room these days, so make sure you do get in quick.
I don't think Fitchy would take me in the house. I don't know. He had me as a roommate in the TVs a few too many times.
Yeah, it might not be Mike that's making that call, Casey.
Sarah loves me. Come on now.
Shout out to the Fitchett family, of course, huge in basketball in that part of the world, and Mike Fitchett doing a great job as head coach of the Giants as they contemplate the top 6 being played on the North Shore this coming week. And that order done and dusted and settled with the final regular season games over the weekend. Took a while to get to an overtime game, but then made up for lost time in the Sal's NBL.
It certainly did. Always better to get free basketball late than early. There's a couple more minutes on the clock than Keem Kapisi originally anticipated.
Oh, okay, there's an issue with the hoop here. And
got to reconnect in that. He's a pro, though. He's going to get right into it, tie that bad boy up. Good to go.
At least that's the only damage that was done. I believe that a hoop was broken down in Otago, which led to a delay this afternoon.
Yeah, they had to take a rim off, try and put one on. There was talk of moving gyms, which I'll tell you in the Edgar Center is not a pretty proposition. You get outside the cold gym and you get into the really cold gym. But regardless, up here in Taronga, things are slightly warmer. And I gotta say, I do appreciate these 5 jerseys. These are my my two favorite jersey combos in the competition, but I prefer the Queen's mint version as opposed to the black with the mint highlights.
Yeah, they've done a great job, as have all of the teams, as we do get proceedings back underway. And Davis, with the 7 points off the bench in the first, she's earned a right to start the second.
Good choice there, I think.
It was Davis that made the final bucket of the first half. And the Whai, let's see if they are a little more careful as Lambert goes from a long way downtown. Well, at least there was no turnover.
It's a good start. It's a good start. Get a shot up as Jamie Nard just coming in with a lot of aggressiveness, and then unfortunately just falls off balance and sets an illegal screen on Cara Lambert. That will be her 3rd personal foul. Yeah, not one that she wanted to get.
She doesn't like the call again, but she just got herself out of control a little, didn't she, Casey? And if anything, may have slipped a little.
Yeah, she just was off balance, fell down, and ran into a defender that was chasing an offensive player, so that's a foul.
Davis, Green, that's a combination that could work well. Not on that occasion. Too much work and back off the glass, and Nard brings the basketball down the floor.
Gustafsson has been really excellent defensively against Nikki Green. Maybe hasn't had the same statistical impact, but her impact on her shot making has been impressive.
And another illegal screen. This one's called on Trousdale.
Yeah, she picks up her 1st personal foul. Just a little too quick trying to get off that roll. A couple of whistles going the way of the Whai, though. We mentioned, as we see Jamie Nard head to the bench with that 3rd personal, we mentioned that the Whai needed to get to the free throw line in this half at a higher rate. Well, that's one way to do it. Get those early fouls.
Davis gets kicked back out to Lambert. She gets to the mid-range. Can't make it, though. Gets the rebounds to Green. Fouled in the attempt here.
No foul.
Is that just possession on the baseline?
Yeah, I think the bench for the Whai disagrees a little bit. Might have seen it the way you saw things, but clean block called there. And the Whai getting good looks, but struggling to convert them.
Well, with Nard just on the bench for the moment, this is where the Whai do need to try and make some inroads, and that's where Green can go to work. So strong.
Big difference there between Elin Gustafsson and Josie Trousdale. I mean, she's got defensive ability, but the size of Nikki Green is probably just a bit too much for Trousdale there on the switch. They need to continue to take advantage of that.
And the Queens turn it over, so this is the start to the second half the Whai were looking for, and I'm sure they spoke about.
And they're doing well defensively. 3 consecutive stops on that end. Need to pick up the efficiency on the offensive end to take advantage of the mistakes that the Queens are making on that end.
And I'll remind you folks that Nard is currently sitting, and she's the game's leading scorer with 15. Lambert gets out of her hands late in the shot clock. Rabati just drives, draws some contact. And if you're in doubt with the shot clock counting down, just be aggressive.
And we see a much more determined Whai basketball team here in the 3rd quarter. They're not settling for the jump shots. They're putting the ball on the floor, getting closer to the rim for that mid-range, if not all the way to the cup. And so far being rewarded for it. Sean Rabati, who's been really solid when she's been getting catches in places that she's proficient in. Looking for her 5th and 6th points if she can make a couple from the regime here. Only the 4 shots for Sean Rabadi. She's a player I'd be looking to take more advantage of in the post in particular.
Yeah, done a few plays for her. Hunter now has played some critical minutes off the bench and another turnover. So this is almost a complete reversal of the first half. It is the Queens turning it over. Davis on the dribble, went straight into traffic though.
Well, back-to-back, looked like her arm might have got swiped there after on the other end we saw a tremendous steal by Green. Both teams being generous with the basketball to the opposition.
Chagas. Green had good defensive position. Oh, under the basket, the cut, and not picked up at all by the Phi. They just went to sleep a little on that occasion. Mason.
Paris Mason with the cut there, and Flavel, unfortunately, just facing the ball, not looking at the defender, or at who she's supposed to be defending, sorry, as Joy Davis toss up the air ball. Here's where the Phi don't want to let all the good work that they've done up to this point be undone. They've gone to the bench, taken out Davis and Rabadi, seeing if there's a bit more speed coming in that they can take advantage of with McGoldrick and Tiana Clark.
Queens looking to find some rhythm and can't do so. They're being hassled out of it. Clark's back on the floor for the Phi. Right in this contest. 4 points the difference, despite those 15 first half turnovers. McGoldrick backs in and didn't feel confident enough to put the basketball up, and that one does not get any of the rim.
Yeah, a mistake of overpassing there. She needed to be a little bit more patient and look for the jumper, trying to just really squeeze that through a tight angle. Ended up in a turnover.
Beckley been bailed out here. I'm not sure the help was needed. She looked to be a little out of control, but the foul is called.
Nikki Green's come out and she's been much more aggressive here in the third quarter, but that aggression led to that foul and has led to a couple of opportunities for the Tokomanawa Queens as well. They did need to get more aggressive, but they need to find a way to do it without committing fouls.
Beckley at the regime.
Missing that first opportunity. Not the only wrong thing she's done this afternoon.
Beckley going at 7 points, 2 rebounds per game, averaging just a tick under 12 minutes. In fact, sorry, she's going at 9.6 and 2.9 per game. And playing 17 minutes per game, so she's crucial off the bench as Clark comes up a little off target.
And they need to let the ball and the play do a bit more work. All this one-on-one basketball is doing them no favors. The defense of the Tokomanawa Queens is stout at the point of attack.
Hunter trying to behind the back pass, which maybe was not what was required in that moment. Clark lost control, but thankfully Green was the closest on the scene. And a whistle on the play. This will be called on Beckley.
Just tackles Kendall Hedemaya as she drives on the baseline there. Third personal foul on the Queens as the scoring has well and truly gone to a trickle.
Yeah, 35-29 at the break, so the points have been at a premium at the start of the third. Coaches here want to have a chat, so I think it may have been Tanya Tupu that called this timeout.
Just 6 points scored here through the first 4 minutes and a bit. Not because of a lack of quality looks. Good physical defense. The whistles, for the most part, I think have just taken a step back here so far. The activities being allowed. Both teams need to adjust to that and find a way to convert the good looks that they're creating.
We appreciate you, Prestige Security. Thank you, Prestige Security. And shout out to H.
Still very much in the balance. And this on the back of the Queens with that tremendous win over the previously unbeaten Kahu last night. So we heard in the pre-game interviews from Tanya Tupu that essentially it was a midnight finish. And then back on the bus, so to speak.
Gotta say, that's a bit strange. I saw him hanging out and going to the Auckland Tuatara game. Maybe should have skipped some of that basketball and driven straight down to Tauranga afterwards, getting an hour earlier instead of enjoying the atmosphere of the doubleheader. But midnight, we're all up till midnight. That's plenty of time to get through and recover.
It's, I mean, Casey, you know it so well, and in my time managing the Tall Blacks, that it's not just the time you arrive, is it? It's the couple of hours, it's the switching off, and often it can be well into the early hours before you actually get some kip as Green goes to the basket.
Ooh, a solid move there, putting him in the spin cycle. And see what she can do with just a little bit of a room. If the double team doesn't come, if there's not two defenders there, she is a skilled post player.
Beckley. Trow still kicks it out for Chagas. She's certainly the right one to have the ball in her possession as the shot clock counts down. Might have been a little touch there, a little block, as Hidemaya brings the ball down court.
They're really looking to take advantage of Green in the post now on this Mason guarding her.
And that would have tied it up. Mason got the rebound. And Hunter now for the Queens. Remember, Nard's sitting with those 3 fouls. So,
and I do think the Phi need to take advantage with her absence. It's a real opportunity for him.
Trousdale straight down the lane, initially left all alone. The foul is on Green, and third personal for Green. So we've got players on both rosters now in a little foul trouble.
Nikki Green will check out, and that is detrimental to the interior defensive abilities of the Phi. With Sean Rabati checking in, though, I think the pace picks up a little bit, and they don't lose much, if anything, in that post presence. Sean Rabati is just such an excellent scorer. As I said, I'd be feeding her with a bit more regularity.
Trousdale makes the first from the Rosine, and the second. Both good-looking shots as well. Clark. They take a little time. She hasn't had an impact on this game, really, on her return from the 3x3 at the Commonwealth Games. Oh, Lambert was saying, gimme, 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 and no one did. Hidemaya with the 3 ball comes up a little short. Trousdale brings down the rebound. Chagas was there to help. Oh, and then turns it over. That's been the story of the second half. Oof. Rabati was ready, and again, Hidemaya comes up short, gets her own long rebound.
Yeah, Phi need to attack the basket, get something going towards the rim.
Clark tries, has to kick it out again though. You've got to get the shot up. Clark, it's a hopeful look at the basket. McGoldrick with the rebound. Lambert finally gets her hands on the basketball, and then she commits an offensive foul.
A lot of movement by Jacinta Beckley from right to left there. A solid contact being made. Not quite sure she was in position for it, but that was not my call to make. What a withstand of a barrage of opportunities by the Tokomanawa Queens there. And we might be looking at this possession as the one where the Queens just did enough to break that spirit of the Phi. That is multiple 4 or 5 shots at the basket and just unable to get any kind of quality look in that possession whatsoever.
And again, we talk about the free throws, because how many times have they been to the stripe? The Queens are 11 of 14, and just 4 free throw attempts for the Phi. That one has a little bit too much work on it from Hunter. While they keep getting stops, Casey, the Phi are a chance still in this 2-possession game.
Great screen by McGoldrick in transition.
Davis, wonderful. Rabati with the finish. Here they come. 2 points back now.
Brilliant post position there by Sean Rabati. Looks like the steal happened and a bucket afterwards. So we're tied up. Did not see exactly what happened, but if I had to guess, I'd say Kyra Lambert was somewhat involved.
Yeah, well, certainly Lambert and Clark were in the vicinity. It's another one of those. If the tree falls in the forest and no one's there, did it make a noise? It was that basket. Oh, looked like a little offensive handoff there from Chagas. And is that the the whistle on the play, or is it after that?
Well, it was after that when she went back in to attack for the rebound. So you can get your hand out of the cookie jar every once in a while, but eventually you're going to get caught. 39 apiece for the Phi. What a response. Just when it looked like things were getting so difficult to score. Instead, here we take a look at the high-low action. Rabadi with the bucket. And then after that, there was another bucket. I'm pretty sure.
What's breaking down? I mean, we know Nard's off the floor, Casey, Frank, but surely there's more to it than that. I mean, they scored points for fun last night against the Kahoo.
But it's also Stella Beck. You know, Stella Beck, she had those 3 assists in the first half. She's out with injury, and she was the glue last night as well. I think for offensively, the extra passes, her shooting ability, changing the geometry of the court because you have to guard her out there. So with Nard on the bench, with Stella Beck on the bench, that has severely affected their offensive attack. A lot more attention on Florencia Chagas, and around her it's been difficult to pick up that slack.
And for those that may have joined us a little late, Beck leaving the game injured, so
as we see the Phi match their biggest lead of the ball game,
a hole 1. And they bring it down, but that's all you need. That's all you need at the final buzzer is a 1-point lead. A long way to go yet, but they have clawed their way back into this.
And I might be thinking about bringing Jamie Nard back in with those 3 fouls.
The Goldrick, nice little turnaround, comes up short though. Oh, that was a clean block, was it? There's a whistle on the play. I'm not sure that it's necessarily the block.
No, I think it was Alia Dunn being called with the foul. Looked pretty clean from the angle. Might have been some body contact down low. But regardless, Ezra McGoldrick heads to the Racine for a couple of attempts from there, and a chance to add to this lead that they've just been able to create recently.
And of late, they've been a fairly shallow rotation. They've only gone 7 deep, on the odd occasion 8 deep, but with Beck off the floor and Nard in foul trouble, they're having to go a little deeper into that bench, aren't they, Casey?
They really are, especially Florencia Chagas hasn't really been able to carry the load. You mentioned that strapping on her leg must be affecting her. Just 2 for 9 from the field for her 5 points on the offensive end. So not a lot of support outside of Beckley with 7 for Jamie Nard's 15 points that are on the bench currently.
Just 4 points in the quarter for the Queens. It's not been an offensive outburst by any means from the Phi, but limiting the damage at the defensive end of the floor for them has meant they now have a 3-point lead. Hunter goes exploring. She can't make the bucket. Look out, fast break transition, no. Slowing it down and almost turning it over.
Yeah, Chagas has just excellent defensive instinct. She really does. And look at her telling her teammates, we got to move, we got to get movement. And that is exactly what they do need. They're a bit static right now. The Phi have gotten a bit more dynamic themselves, and then they've been rewarded with this 3-point lead.
Lambert. Rabadi up high, and she just puts the shoulder down and gets to her favorite spot on the court.
Didn't want the jumper, and you can see why with finishing ability like that. She has turned it on a little bit on that one with the speed down the lane.
They need some offensive answers here somewhere. Beckley can't provide it. And coming around to grab the rebound was Mason, and she's pushed in the process.
Body up to double digits with that bucket. She's got 10 now.
So the Queens, this game really has turned completely. We discussed it, we talked about it, that if the Phi could restrict those turnovers, 15 in the first half, and I think was it 10 the difference in the turnovers at halftime, Casey?
I believe it was 9. I was thinking it was 15-6. So they have completely turned that on its head. They've only committed 2, well, forcing 7.
Yeah, and that's been the tail of the tape in the scoring as well, as finally the Queens get off that 39.
Really nice baseline out of bounds. Perfect cut by Jacinta Beckley, up to 9 points for her now. She's going to have to try and carry a bit more of that load with Nard on the bench.
Clark tries to turn the corner. Good D played by Hunter. Really good defense.
The Phi get into trouble when it's all one-on-one basketball. They need to set some screens. They need to get the ball in better position to create some advantage.
Mason. Chagas takes control. Doesn't look to have that spark And there's a whistle here, and is it called on Rabadi, or let's see? No. 13 it looked like.
I could not tell what that call was looking at the play on the court or seeing the call there, but regardless, it'll be Trousdale to the Racine for a couple of attempts.
So maybe the late night, maybe the travel's having an impact, and it is seen as a little dress rehearsal opportunity for the Final Four. When if teams do win a semi, they've got to go back-to-back and play the final 24 hours later, but
normally the difference in that is both teams do it. The Phi have been sitting there waiting all week long. And look at Chagas, her influence on the game.
Great hustle, and stays out in front of Clark. That's a costly turnover. They've been good in the second half, but that one hurts.
Just takes it away from Tiana Clark, who uses a bit of quickness this time around.
And goes crashing through traffic, and you don't like it, Casey?
You're getting sped up. That's not a great shot. You're surrounded by defenders. You haven't had success on that. Be patient. Where's the patience? Why aren't you working this team that's obviously fatigued and down numbers? Why aren't you working them more in the half court?
And again, we do ask the question, maybe it's that 3x3 shot block still in the synapses there of Tiana Clark. Davis scrambling, turned it over suddenly. They've gone back to their first half turnover ways, have the Phi and the Queens. They were down by a few, but they've scrambled late in the third quarter, and they will go into the final quarter with a 2-point lead. So the Phi have undone some of their very good work, but right in this ball game, 2 points in it with 1 quarter to play.
Make sure when you're screaming that you have someone to catch you just in case you run out of breath. I've seen people who, this is quite, so on this side. Let's go on this side, screaming on this side. Anyone scream? He for the rally. Not bad. This side, can I hear some screaming? Okay, ready, go. This one here, you were amazing. That was nearly ear piercing. Honestly, this girl was on the next level. And I'm gonna come over that side and do that next, okay? She was like, next level. I was like, oh, wow. Okay, we're feeling all right, Fern? Let's give our girls some energy and make some noise! Actually, let's try that again. Fans, I'm going to be the MC for the next 2 days.
Well, this one very much in the balance, and how much gas is left in the tank. The Queens having to back up inside 24 hours, and they're down a couple of troops as well, with Stella Beck limping off the floor early in the third. Nard, you would expect, will be back on the floor with those 3 fouls, having sat for most of the third quarter. So the Phi continue to be their own worst enemies. Andrew Dewhurst still with you. It's GJ Gardner, Tauihi basketball coverage alongside Casey Frank. And we saw, Casey, the Jekyll and Hyde nature. When they look after the basketball, the Phi made a run, and suddenly they started turning it over again, and the Queens are back in front.
Pretty much all has to do with Florencia Chagas and her defense at the point of attack, just harassing ball handlers, and look at her influence the game on the offensive end now. Doesn't get that, but I like the aggressiveness. I like what she's doing defensively and offensively. Her pressure single-handedly speeding up this Phi squad and getting them out of their comfort zone.
And interesting. I'll get your thoughts on it. Nard's still sitting.
Well, you must be fearful of that 4th foul. Could be a blessing in disguise as we see a strong post move from Jean Rabadi, getting it down low using her physicality. But Jamie Nard had a big load last night. This extended break should give her plenty of energy when she does come back in. They will be just feeding her like crazy.
We'll start the quarter with a couple of long-range attempts. So Gustafsson also with 3 personal fouls. So they're in foul trouble and perhaps a little beat up, the Queens, but they're level in the ball game, and that's all that matters to them at the moment. Lambert to the Razine, finds her range.
Yeah, that looks smooth coming off the screen, solidly done. Defender gets caught up, and with that kind of space, Kyra Lambert just looking like a pro on the finish.
It'll take Lambert to double figures.
And Beckley likes this matchup. I don't know why that was called a foul. I gotta say, that Jacinta Beckley completely out of control there. Had nothing to do with the contact. A poor whistle does happen occasionally.
Flavel, her turn to look rather perplexed.
But the aggressive of Jacinta Beckley, that's what blew the whistle. She's putting the ball on the ground, attacking. Quite often, if it looks like a foul, it is a foul. And that was a call there.
Beckley has been huge off the bench. Double figures herself now with 11 points on the game, and she is 6 of 8 from the Razine, so she's being aggressive. She's getting to the line, creating those opportunities. Lambert. And, inside and back out. Green just loses the handle momentarily. Davis with the shot clock counting down, and that one more pass and turned over.
Those extra passes are just a bit difficult. Davis not quite used to what her teammates are looking for, and her teammates not used to her yet.
And Chagas, is she coming to play now? Is this her time? Final quarter.
All class coming off that into the mid-range. Somebody's got to come up and step up defensively into that 17-foot zone. Too easy of a shot for her.
Inside they go. Green had good position, but
it looked like Trousdale was all over the arm on the catch, but the FI just not getting the same whistle.
Oh, and Chagas is allowed to go all the way to the hoop, but misses the layup and makes the toughest shot.
Well, the FI, they need a timeout. They're not on the same page right now, defensively or offensively. They're a bit slow to come back. If I was Mel Bennett, I'd be blowing the whistle to try and change that.
Lambert gets right to the rim, and it drops on that occasion. That's a good drive to the basket.
She's essentially single-handedly affecting the game right now. Had the jump shot earlier, harassing things defensively. She needs a few teammates to come with her in the fourth.
Oof, good screen by Trousdale, and then curls to the basket. Wonderful basketball.
Suddenly the offensive flow is picking up for both squads. Nice roll for Trousdale after the screen, and a lovely finish under duress.
Rabati, she's been so strong, unstoppable there, and on that occasion she stopped. Kicks it back out again, got her own rebound.
Good D by Ferris Manson there, physicality, and then coming over to block the shot.
They go back to Rabati, and again she's pretty well marshaled, and they just worry her out of that one.
Well, a lot of contact down low, not called. Paris Mason once again, physical defense being rewarded.
Lambert stays the right side of Chagas, but then got absolutely sold down the road. The lead is 4. They were out by as many as, I'm going to say, the biggest lead was 9, and now I'm going to check, and I'm right. The biggest lead was 9, and they get it back out to 6. So they're starting to get into that same sort of territory, the Queens, and this is dangerous now for the fight. Who leads their response? Davis to Green. They go back into that congested corner. Green's got into the paint, though. That's well played.
Excellent repost there. She saw the double in the first one, kicks it out, but she doesn't relax. She goes, steps in, gets better position, an easier shot made because of it.
Tries has had a good couple of minutes for the Queens at both ends of the floor. Nard just got all out of control and looks a little lame. Was that
just a bang of knees there?
Good old-fashioned Charlie into the quad or knee on knee. Either way, it's painful.
Looked like the knee. She's grabbing the knee, not the quad. Tokomanawa. No effect on the champ, though.
Davis. Her first appearance for the Whai, and she'll get the and one opportunity. And they've not had many of them. That's the sort of aggression they need if they're going to close this one out.
The quickness there was impressive. The crossover, creating some space, and then being able to finish through the contact. She had slowed down offensively precipitously in the second half. This is her first bucket since halftime, and a chance to hit double figures from the Rosine here.
And would have.
Violation called. One more shot.
Stepping in too soon, the Queens.
Dylan Boucher classic. Whai have had a few more free throw opportunities here in the second half. 7 for 8 coming into this one after just 2 attempts in the first half.
He was something of a master at drawing people in. I think the Lemmings had well and truly fallen over the edge of the cliff, hadn't they, halfway through Dylan's free throw?
He was definitely more concerned about violations than making the shot.
And a whistle on the play, and this will go
into Maya from behind. Just 2 hands on Jamie Nard, pushing her off the screen. Trying to get in there, but you got to get in with your body. The hands by themselves makes it a reasonably easy call to make.
1-point ball game, 5:36 to play. Teams looking to jockey for position. There's a toe on the line here. It would have been a long 2. Had it dropped.
They were pretty lucky on that one. I think that's a poor decision to go underneath the screen on Nard, but they get let off the hook.
Davis Chagas is a premium defender, though. And, just catch, turn, and shoots from the Whai. So they obviously like that look, but does not drop. Nard with the fast break. Hunter gets to a shooting spot. Can't make it drop.
Just a bit too patient here for the Whai in transition. I'd like to see a counterattack, try and give the Tokomanawa Queens a bit more of their own medicine, create some easier buckets, because it's been a struggle in the half court for them.
Goldrick.
Had the high-low, though. Went for the shot. She would have missed that on the other side. Nikki Green was perfectly positioned.
Trousdale again setting that wonderful screen as they get an easy look at the basket, and partly Davis was left way down the floor because of the work from Trousdale.
No communication defensively. 2 players going to the ball, no one guarding Gustafsson underneath.
So Gustafsson and Nard back on the floor for the Queens. 2 players on 3 fouls.
And Nikki Green coming to the bench, looks like she's asking for a sub. She is blown. With 4.5 left. Instead, I like the timeout by Coach Mel Bennett.
Have a chat and get a breather.
3 minutes or 4 minutes and 23 seconds left. 3-point ball game. Still within distance, but I'll tell you what, it feels like that 3 points is much bigger than it is. The Queens, despite only having the slim lead, feel well in control of this ball game.
And again, this if you were to go back and track the play-by-play, you could almost see the pattern of scoring in the pattern of turnovers, because we had 15 in the first half, and I'm sorry to bang on about it, folks, but for the Whai, that's just far too many. They shut that down pretty much in the third quarter and made a really good run at the Queens, but they've now extended those turnovers out to 21 again, so just got a little loose with possession.
But as much as anything else, I'd be a little bit concerned about the fact that with just the 9 assists on the 22 shots made.
Too much one-on-one?
A little bit too much one-on-one, and when they do move that ball, when they are creating opportunities for others, the offense is just so much cleaner. I think the Queens have a similar number of assists. Yeah, they do. They've got 9 assists as well on their 19 made buckets, but the difference being they've created a lot of opportunity in transition because of the steals. So of those 19 makes, 5 or 6 of them are by themselves on fast break opportunities. So the Phi need to find a way to not do it on their own, but to involve their teammates a little bit more and just create an easier style of bucket. Right now, it's just such hard work to get the ball in the hoop.
Queen's doing this without Stella Beck. Remember, off the floor with what looked to be a lower leg injury. And missing one of, if not their blue player. Chagas took the 3 ball. That wasn't a great offensive set from the Queens, but no whistle on the play.
Didn't hit the rim.
No, so shot clock violation.
I was going to say, they missed that one. Did not look like it hit the rim to me. That's the question being asked there by Florencia Chagas.
So referees will check, and they get confirmation from the score bench, who would have had a good look at that too, that no, there was no touch of the iron, so no need to reset, so turnover it is. And we're still a 1-possession game here.
The defense has picked up, forcing the scoring to a trickle. Let's see what the Phi have. They need some execution here in the half court.
Lambert with some help from McGoldrick, and again, they just go from long range.
Just not creating any advantage. Not swinging the ball at all side to side, just dribbling it up and throwing a shot up. That is not going to get it done.
And Davis has reached in here. And is that her 4th?
That is foul number 3.
3, okay.
For Joy Davis. Still down 3 points are the Phi, as it feels like it's been a while since we saw a bucket fall through.
McGoldrick heads out. Green's had her rest, and you would expect that she'll play the final 3:34 now. And we'll need her to be influential.
Get the ball in the hands of Jamie Nard. Let her go to work.
And she does. And great pass. Perhaps deserved a better catch.
That would have been a bucket if Paris Mason could have corralled it. She cannot. Instead, going this way. Now, the Phi need to create a good opportunity.
Davis. And physically
Offensive
charging in
foul
here, but yeah, too physical. Called here on Kendall Hedemeier. Faces tell the story on the Phi bench. A little bit glum, a little bit downcast at that call.
It's once again, the ball's doing none of the work. They're throwing the ball in and they're just asking somebody to go through a brick wall to get something done. Can we set a screen, get the ball to someone in position where they can score and have a decision? Can we have a cross screen, get a better post catch? Just right now, there's just not enough, I guess, subtlety to their basketball.
Yeah, and cheap foul as Rabati took a risk and tried to affect the steal. At the moment she got the wrong side, she was always second favourite.
And an unfortunate foul as well, sending Paris Mason to the free throw line, because just as it's been a struggle for the Phi, it's been a struggle for the Tokomanawa Queens to really find something going offensively here in the 4th. Paris Mason unsuccessful in the first attempt from Louisiana.
Well, the Phi may well have done what they hoped to do, and that is be in the contest late and see if they can see if this fatigue, as Nard gets the rebound. They've got to get busier, though. You cannot give up offensive boards off a free throw at this stage of a game.
Yeah, great post, Lynn Gustafsson. Just deep position. Offensive rebound grabbed by Nard, and she just feeds her big, says go to work down there. 5-point lead, and that could just be about if the Phi don't score here.
Double team comes to Green. McGoldrick passed through traffic and again turned over.
And now the shot clock is your friend. Jamie Nard gonna go ahead and work it out. Just be nice and patient with his possession. Use up every second of the 24.
Gustafsson. And off here for Chagas, who looked to kick it out eventually. It does get to the corner, but the shot clock beat them all to it.
I think Jamie Nard a little bit disappointed that that wasn't her possession to finish off, as Florencia Chagas shoots up to take control, ends up in a turnover. But at this stage in the game, with a 5-point lead, a dead ball turnover is okay. Used up the whole shot clock. The clock is in your favor.
Davis for Green. has the size advantage here, gets into the paint and
just tackled.
Surely will be a reaching, a blocking, a checking, call it what you will. There's one of everything in there. The foul called on Mason. Good news is you can only call one.
But that foul's going to be on the floor, just the second team foul here. So the Queens can continue to be really aggressive defensively. Because to be frank, calls have been going their way. So if I was them, I would continue to be really physical defensively, force the officials to blow the whistle against me, and just keep the Phi from finding any really easy looks. Nikki Green, apparently that was shooting. Interesting.
Yeah, with you, Casey, I was backing in. I don't know that she. No, they're going baseline. Okay. They're going back. They're all with us.
Makes sense. That makes much more sense.
McGoldrick, Lambert. He shut down that driving lane, and then she goes again. Lovely hesitation.
Yeah. That's why she keeps on trying to create, because she's got that burst of speed, really giving herself a bit of separation. A lovely finish with the left. It's all down to this defensive possession now. Can they get a stop and give themselves a chance?
Mason for Nard. Now she does have control of the possession, Jamie Nard. And a lovely pass for Mason. Comes up short, though. And a whistle on the play, and this will be crucial as Mason takes a tumble.
It's going to stay this way, I believe. Off Nikki Green, she couldn't corral it after the Mason miss. That was it. That was their chance, I think, as Stella Beck looks on.
Stella Beck cannot affect this game from the other side of the white line, but she can certainly have an influence with all of her experience during the next couple of moments as the timeout is taken. Beck with the injury.
Going to be just 14 seconds on the shot clock here, but as a coach, you love opportunities late in game from down on the baseline. Such an easy place to score from is Paris Mason speaking to physio.
And in great hands, a good mate of yours and mine, Casey, Gavin Cross, who's been involved with the Tall Blacks and Tall Ferns and various national teams. And
spent my time with him with the Saints for 4 or 5 years down there, where he was an excellent physio and a better dude.
Enjoyed some great tours with Gavin. A shout out to the physio for the Queens, but he's had some work to do today, and work he'd rather not be doing. With Stella Beck picking up that injury, and Paris Mason, the latest there to require some attention. What needs attention here for the Phi is great D. Can they shut down the Queens here? Plenty of time left in this one. They do not need to force the issue offensively, do they, Casey? Lots of time. Just get a good look at the bucket when they get to the other end of the floor.
Even the full use, I mentioned it earlier, but the full use of the 24 and a dead ball turnover is almost as valuable as a bucket. The way that the Queens have been defending, everything has been so tough for the opposition, for the Phi to get anything going. You just want to be extremely patient. You don't want a live ball turnover, though. You can't give the Phi easy opportunities.
What are they going to run? What have they drawn up?
And she was wide open. Oh, that was going to be so far out of bounds. No way that was going to be caught. But Lambert gets her hand on it, so it will stay with the Queens.
Yeah, they've done a great job, the Phi, and it was like they read the playbook. And can they repeat, and do the Queens have another play now?
Chagas was open in the corner. They just were late with the pass, and because of that, it was almost stolen. Running the same thing on this side, and that time they did have the playbook.
Turned over, so Davis with possession. That's exactly the first part of the equation now for the Phi. Now can they make a basket? There's Lambert in control. Flavel, and it's all just got stationary. Looking to clear out some room was Robati into the corner. They turn it over.
Her body was wide open in the post. Jamie Nard had fallen down, and they were looking for the high-low, but Nikki Green looked away a second too early. And then just the turnover with the sloppy pass in the corner. Would have been a decent look from 3 had it connected. Instead, Tokomanawa Queens ball once again.
This one going down to the wire. The challenge for the Phi is just as it was on that last possession. Get a stop, and then you've got time on the clock. Making a basket has been a real challenge.
That's who you give it to.
And on the drive, draws the contact and will go to the Razine, Jamie Nard.
This is like the second or third time she's had the ball since she's been reinserted, and every time she touches it, good things happen. And this time puts the ball on the floor, determined to get to the rim, takes the contact, will head to the Razine, and I think 2 shots made here will ice this one.
And these shots, Casey, are an opportunity for Jamie Nard to add to her halftime score. So that time that she sat with the 3 fouls, of course, had a huge impact, but her productivity has dropped away as a consequence of that, but also perhaps a little more attention from the fight. Well, can't get off that 15.
Well, still a chance for the Whai. Even if a make here still leaves things relatively open to him, only a couple of buckets. But a miss here would certainly heighten the hopes of the Whai.
Whai need to focus on a box out and grab the rebound here if they get the chance. They don't, so crucial basket. Does take it out to a 2-possession game, and we've got a Sky City timeout called by Kyra Lambert. The player in possession only can call this timeout, and the players only can have a chat. The coaches sit, and the players head to their own end of the floor.
Oh, excellent use of the timeout here. They get to advance the ball without taking any time off and really discuss how they execute. Really important to come out of this with great execution, though. Down 4 points. They've been struggling to get some smooth offense going here in the second half. And here we see Kyra Lambert talking about exactly how they want to run it, who they want to have the ball where.
They're going to get 2 for 1. Do they try and force the issue?
You have to force the issue. You can't. If you're shooting, if you take more than 15 seconds, there's 1 shot clock opportunity left, and the Queens have to sit on it. So they're going to have to go for the first best opportunity. If it takes longer than 14 seconds and they're down into 1 possession, then they're in the look for a steal and foul quickly game. If they do it right away, they get the ball in the next 6 or 7 seconds, they have a chance for the stop, but personally, I wouldn't wait on that. I'd want to go for the first best shot and then try and probably foul and extend the game that way.
Let's see what they're going to run. Kyra Lambert was certainly drawing it up out on the floor and kicks it back out at the elbow. Long jumper there for Green. They got a bucket. 2 points in it now. 30 seconds on the game clock.
Well designed play. Kyra Lambert was looking for that kickback the entire time. Just wanted to draw 2 defenders. Now, what's the decision? Do they play it out? Looks like they are. There's about a 6-second differential. So even if they get the stop, they're going to have to be quick with it up the other way.
And Chagas now has called Sky City timeout for the players. So it is the turn of the Queens. This will allow the Whai also to regather. They've got to get across the other side of the half court officially. It's one of the technicalities of the Sky City timeout. They're not going to do that though. That's okay, so long as they're chatting.
To be fair, I thought that was a bit pedantic early in things. You should be able to just get a huddle away from the other team. I'm glad they haven't been enforcing that one quite as much. But limited time on the shot clock, 10 seconds left. And if you remember, the last time the Tokomanawa Queens tried to inbound the ball from out of bounds, it was a struggle. The foul had been well scouted. Let's see if that's the case once again. A live ball turnover here would certainly make things more easy, a more easy offensive opportunity.
Are they prepared to concede the foul in risking this, in trying to get the steal?
Foul's okay because then you still have time. If they make 1 out of 2, it's 1 shot away. I don't mind the foul as long as you keep extending the game. You're just going to have to keep scoring quickly.
So look to steal, and if you can't, foul quickly. And put the Queens on the line and see if you can win the game.
10 seconds on the shot clock. Oh no. Foul when the ball's out of bounds. That is going to be free throws and possession. The game is over.
And Flavel is the guilty party. And just a little too eager, and that's the fine line that you cannot afford to cross. Just the urgency, knowing that you had to try and affect the game quickly, but not that quickly.
And it's unsportsmanlike because the ball was out of bounds. If you foul a player on the court when the ball hasn't been inbounded yet at this stage in the game, it's called unsportsmanlike. You get the 2 free throws and you get possession, which effectively ends this game.
Especially if Jamie Nard makes both. Whilst that margin is 3 in a 1-possession game, they've still got a chance here, but they're going to get possession on the back of this. That's the critical part.
Sean Martin looking like he's trying to freeze out Jamie Nard there.
Didn't work.
Does not happen. She was huge early and she was huge late, finishing with 19 points, depending on what happens on this possession. 15 of those in the first half. Not a lot of opportunity in the second half, but there when the Tokomanawa Queens needed her most, and they are about to pull off their best doubleheader of the season.
And if they do, how influential is this as we head towards the business end of the season? A win over the Kahu, and then backing up a very different win today with Beck off the floor, a couple of players in foul trouble, but they may have, with 15 seconds left, found a way.
It does seem that way. It does seem that they and you appreciate it as a coach that your team's able to win in different styles. It's easy to win when everybody's hitting jump shots and everything's flowing in, but this was a grindy game with a fatigued team. You lost a player early in it, one of the more influential players. You fought through all that. You fought through some foul trouble. And we heard Coach Tanya Tupu talking about it before the game. This is preparation for the postseason, when you're going to have to play on back-to-back nights in adverse conditions. Well, this is a perfect dress rehearsal for it. On the road, both games, get the win in Auckland, get the win down here in Tauranga. What a fantastic road trip they have put together, and really showing the championship medal that they're hoping to prove they still have at the end of the year.
Yeah, certainly a warning shot fired across the bows of the Kahu this weekend, with the Queens making a statement, a little statement, but a statement nonetheless. That this GJ Gardner Tauihi is far from a done deal, as Nard's very slow to foul, or at least get the whistle, was Kyra Lambert.
Well, she had to try and force a steal, so she was going for the ball first and gave it a good couple of cracks to try and get it, but at that point, a little bit longer, and it was going to be just a bit too long, as we see the Queens starting to feel happy. Grace Hunter starting the party early.
She may be young, Florencia Chagas, but she's plenty of experience, plenty of basketball miles in those legs at 21 years of age, and she is far from in celebratory mood, but Grace Hunter just letting the situation get ahead of her, the young Kiwi.
Welcome to New Zealand. Not the first time I've seen dancing on the court before the game was done. 21 points now for Jamie Nard. I believe that's a timeout to the Phi to try and give themselves a chance. If they can get a quick inbound, a quick triple, there's still the sliver of hope. It's a real skinny sliver, though.
Well, that is the beauty of basketball, though, isn't it, Casey? That you know, we've seen big changes, we've seen momentum swings in small amounts of time over the course of many a basketball game. But as you say, it's the most unlikely, but there is a hint, there is just a chance.
The unlikeliness is what makes it memorable. That's why you remember you were at that game where you were down. Remember when you were down 6 points and you came back in 12 seconds? It's happened before. It'll happen again. The question is, will today be one of those days?
Tutu holds all of the attention of her players. I'm sure she's reminding them to guard against just that occurring here this afternoon.
See one of the recipients of the balls tossed into the crowd there. Going to be able to go home, work on the handle, the jump shot as well. Fantastic initiative at all the games, sending home hopefully mostly kids with basketballs.
Yeah, both leagues with GJ Gardner delivering the basketballs into the stands, and it has made for some interesting rebounding battles up in the stands. I've seen a few this season, Casey. There's a few big kids kind of I'm dropping an elbow into the ribs, and
not gonna lie, I keep putting my hand up to catch one. It never comes my way though.
Okay, the Phi need a quick play here, and ideally a quick three, and then see if they can foul quickly. That's going to be the nature of these final 12 seconds. Clark got to put it up. Tries to get some separation and couldn't. Just too strong on defense. Lambert and McGoldrick, they kick it out. They can't play one more pass. The clock just counts down, and that is the end of this one. And the Queens are delighted, as they should be. That's a heck of a road double. And they win both over the Kahu last night and now over the Whai in Tauranga. And the Tokomanawa Queens are the real deal in the GJ Gardner Tauihi.
Just a really brilliant performance. It was a close game, but it did feel like it wasn't as close as the scoreline in the end. Just a tremendous effort for them to back up a day after ending the perfect season of the Northern Kahu. Well, they come home onto their own court or onto the Whai home court and get another victory on the road. This one a little grittier, a different kind of fashion, but these are the types of wins you have to get if you're hoping to win a title.
And I'm most concerned, I'm just looking to see if Stella Beck's in the lineup here to shake hands. Can you spot her, Casey?
She was standing earlier, so I see her walking along there. She looks like she's okay.
Okay.
She's walking a little gingerly.
Left the floor with looked to be a lower leg injury, but that'll be of most concern as we go through the numbers here. And Lambert got going second half, but Jamie Nard is really the most influential player in this game.
Yeah, especially considering the limited minutes she had. 20 points. Gustafsson leading rebounder. Nikki Green gets up there with the 12. And the glass was one of the areas of dominance for the Five, but not enough to lock into the Tokomanawa Queens' chance at victory. See the assist. Stella Beck did those 4 assists, and not very much game time coming out of the game quite early in this one. Still